People have been asking me about the relationship between mind and body, and I'm currently about to run a marathon, and I've been training. People think it's kind of unusual for a Tibetan Lama to be exercising, let alone running a marathon, and what the relationship between body and mind is, and running and meditation. So for myself, it's not that surprising. I mean, I think there is a tradition of body and mind, and I think in the West, sometimes the body and mind have been split up. So when people think about meditation or spirituality, they think it's very much distancing themselves from a body per se. But the way I've been trained and brought up, and the way I understand this topic and kind of whole experience, is that they are actually meant to be united. When we meditate, for example, even sitting meditation, it's a whole body experience, a whole mind experience. So people said, can you meditate while you're running? And I said, of course. I mean, I hope so. I've been trying. It seems to be working okay. So, it's a matter of just taking the principles, because basically you should be able to practice meditate anywhere, because the way I like to think about it is that you're using your mind, and once you're using your mind, you have the ability to meditate. So whether you're running, obviously there's more focus on the movement in running, and when you're running, there's a sense of purpose and focus, which is like the meditation. Traditionally, you might use the breathing, you might use a visualization, and in running, you have the orientation you're going, and you also have your feet, you have your arms, and there's a whole body experience. So like, for example, when I'm running, I always try to keep my center kind of in my heart, and then try to have I realize my movement of my being is coming, even though the legs are down there, that my center is coming from here, movement's coming from here. And then I try to keep my visual field like roughly 10 feet out, so that I'm looking down slowly and keeping my eye on the path. And that's like a breathing meditation. When you're sitting, you're focused here, and then the only difference is you're moving and you're breathing a lot quicker. But I think it's the same thing. You're dealing with pain, dealing with thoughts. You're dealing with all these elements, and that's how you regard it. So some people prefer maybe to use running as a way to kind of think about things and escape. I know I prefer myself. I think you can do that, and sometimes when you first start running, you have a lot of thoughts. Just like in meditation, when you first sit down, you have a lot of thoughts. And then once you begin to move, you begin to balance your mind and body. So I think it's the same with any kind of sport or activity. If you're riding a horse, it's a balance. If you're skiing, or if you're playing golf, whatever it may be, there's the kind of mind-body coordination. And that's inherent, because the notion of meditation is that you're synchronizing your mind with your body. You're using the present moment as your gauge, as a way of being present and being here, being in the moment and being in the now, as they say, right, present. And the other day when I was practicing my interval training, I realized that it was very important to be completely present. And as soon as you let your mind go too far into the future, like how long do I have and things like this, automatically you sometimes tend to get tired. And the present moment can be this very full moment. In fact, the present moment, as you're running, if you can be there, because it's the totality of what you're doing, time goes by very quickly. So I don't feel like I'm running a long time. You get tired, and I think you come in and out of it, and people might talk about it being in the zone. So I think there's that element. But I think it's the same, mind and body. And I feel like just for general health these days, you need to do something. And I know that even apparently the sort of new surveys say that people should try to get like 30 minutes of exercise or some sort of aerobic thing every day. And I think we live in a very kind of stagnant culture where we're going from the car to the computer. There's just a lot of sedentariness. And one of the things that meditation has really shown me is that breathing is really important. We're meant to breathe as human beings. Running obviously exemplifies that to one extreme, but whatever it is, we can breathe and move. And the more we breathe, the more we feel alive, the more the mind feels inspired, the more it can engage. So it doesn't surprise me that people go to work go to the gym, go do something, because they're missing that element. And I think that's something that's been there for centuries. You can read old meditation texts about it, about the unity of mind and body. It's called Xinzhong, and Xinzhong means processing or training or developing. And you have Xinzhong of mind, which is basically meditation, training and processing the mind. The more you train and process the mind, the more it becomes settled, the more useful. In fact, they say the more processed the mind becomes, the stronger it becomes, the more flexible it becomes. Same with the body. I think if you train the body, it becomes stronger, more flexible. And I think this is true even as you get older. I've talked to people. I was talking to somebody the other day who was turning 60, and they're saying that because they were thought that as you get older, or you're getting older, so you should do less. So they started doing less, and they found they got worse, and now they're starting to do a little more, and they're feeling better. And it's just, I think it's what people think should happen and what's really happening. So I think the meditation tradition is known about this and saying even as long as you can, you keep that movement. So I definitely encourage people to have something. It doesn't have to be as extreme as what I'm doing, even though I'm teaching the middle way. Good luck.